This is your boy JG.
Hey, B.
Back in the building. Gambling. Do you do it? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. We got the ins and outs. We get into it right now. Welcome back, yo. Like I said before, this is your boy JG. AB definitely in the building.
AB, come on.
All day, every day. It's that time of the year. It's October. All sports full effect. You got NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB playoffs. Let's go. Boxing, MMA, combat sports. You got one. All that good stuff. What does it mean? People like to throw their money away. That's what it means. Gambling. Gambling is what we're talking about. Hit us off, G.
Listen, it's right up there with prostitution as one of the oldest. What, did I go into
it? Just was fast. I wasn't anticipating.
Well, it's like one of those facts I was trying to open up with.
Yeah.
It's right up there with prostitution in terms of one of the oldest vices, right? For as long as humankind, people have money and they try to use it on things that they can't control, right? I will say this, gambling has taken an effect in terms of two things. One, a lot of people like to do it as a pastime, right? You know, hey, I got nothing to do. Let's go hit the muckle shoot or whatever they go to. Yep. Got a little extra cheese, whatever. Two is cats that are actually trying to come up. You know, you got the type that think they're like, you know, sports aficionados, and they think, wait, all I got to do is put up this little amount of money. I already know that game score. I know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? I know. So let me go get paid for it. We're talking to the second group.
Okay. And I'm glad you clarified that because I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
When you say come up, do you mean like I have bills coming up in the next 8 days?
Bing.
And if I go when I hit at the Muckleshoot, if I'm down at the Bellagio, then I can make ends meet. Okay, cool.
Everything's taken care of. So exactly, that's a great clarification. When we say come up, we're not talking about you're comfortable, you got like $9,000 in the bank and you just want to hit on. No, we're talking about like you're down to your last $90. Insurance is $272 coming up 3 days from now, and your phone bill is $120 coming up also in 2 more days.
Bopped.
So you're thinking, I gotta come up with some money. I got $90. The games are on Sunday. Let's do this. I can do it. I'm gonna get all my money back right now. And as you can see, these lead to a lot of situations. So what we're speaking to when we say the second group is those degenerates amongst us that like to think that they're geniuses when it comes to this. Let me tell you something. You actually have to have knowledge,
a skill set to play this. See, and that's the thing that gambling and these bookmakers and these odd makers, they do such a great job of. They like to make you think that, oh, come on, there's no skill involved. You know football, right? You watch football. You've been watching it your whole life. Come on, Bills, Jim
look.
Kelly,
and then they throw all these numbers at you. -3 spread, 7, over under 50. Come on, you know the times. And you're just sitting there like, well, I have been watching football my whole life. I mean, I do know these things. Listen.
Okay, listen.
It's not for you.
It's not.
It's a full-time job.
It's a job.
Dudes have gotten themselves out of their mom's basement, you know, looking at numbers, crunching numbers.
It's a real job because you have to pay taxes on your winnings. That's what makes it real.
You do?
So anyway, what were you saying?
You gotta pay tax. IRS, chill out. I'm joking. Of course you gotta pay taxes. So like I was saying, one of the things that's very important is that you understand. Sorry, that's my bookie.
Okay,
he's tripping.
This video will never make it. I want to live. And I don't want to live anymore.
He doesn't know the address. Don't worry.
All right.
Look, one of the things that's important when it comes to gambling, and I hate when people say this, gamble responsibly, right?
That's not even real. That is not a real thing.
Thank you. And we're going to address gamble responsibly. You know, it's right up there with drink responsibly.
Yep, I agree.
What are you talking about? You cannot leave someone to their own devices and then say, well, do it responsibly. We're giving you the keys to it. But
next thing you know, you EJ.
Listen, hey, don't do that. Don't do that. That hasn't been proven.
That was a low blow.
That has not been proven.
That was a low blow.
By EJ, he meant Errol Spence Jr. Recently got in a car accident and walked himself out of the hospital, checked himself out. Solid.
Charged with DWI in Dallas. Moving on.
Not proven yet. So one of the things that I'm trying to explain is, and you might be thinking, hey, B, how do you, where are you coming with this? Where do you get this from? Is this the experience or the exaggeration speaking? Listen to me. They don't call me AB, always betting for no reason.
Always broke.
That comes after the always betting. So you're gonna be always broke if you keep on betting. But listen, what I'm here to tell you is, you have to separate from needing to gamble and wanting to gamble.
How does that line get drawn? Because I think you can tell yourself
great
a lie.
question.
You can tell yourself the lie. You tell yourself, look, I don't need to do this, but I think it's fun. When the reality is you're just telling yourself a lie. You have a need, a necessity to go out there and take the last $34 in your bank account and take an absurd parlay bet on some shit you know that's not going to come up and hit.
Listen, that's true.
And like the Browns are included. Like, it's just bad.
Look, I will say this. That's a great question to clarify. The difference between a need and a want, we're not going to get all psychological. I think there's been studies written on that, needs and wants and whatever. But when you need something, you can't go without it. Right? So like he said, hey, I got $50 in my account. I really shouldn't do this. But you do it anyways. That's a need that you need to, like.
I know you said you weren't gonna go psychological.
Come on,
but
come on.
On the real though, you can convince your mind of just about anything, good or bad.
That's a fact.
You can tell yourself, yo, I have to make this bet because I'm not gonna get this opportunity again. You know, I need to do this. Now you know you in the whip driving down to Red Wind Casino or whatever the hell to bet on some shit you have no business betting on. And you don't even have the gas money to get back home. So now, hey, you might have to do some
need an Uber to take you home. That's what you need.
To perform some questionable activities to get that bankroll back up.
Fair enough. So however you want to look at it, right? You could look at it from the point of view as someone who's addicted, or you can look at it from the point of view as somebody who doesn't understand the addiction or whatever. Like he's saying, it depends on what perspective you're looking at it in terms of a need or a want.
This is getting serious.
But we are addressing those people that take that last few dollars to make that decision. And look, nobody here is giving you advice in terms of what to do with your money. You feel free. Go ahead. You want to bet your last, like my man said, you want to parlay $50 on the Browns, the Indians, and a NASCAR driver you never heard of. By all means, you go right ahead, buddy. But what we're saying is you should be able to distinguish between when it's, for fun and you're going to make a little bit of money on the side, it doesn't really impact you, or when it's, I really need to hold on to this.
All right, I have a question.
Go ahead.
I have questions.
Please, feel free.
So my first question is this. You get into it, let's say something simple, fantasy football. All right, guys, we're doing the league, 10-man league. It's $50, no big deal, right? So you already know why I like playing fantasy. I played for real before. I like football. I play football. I watch football, whatever the case may be. So now I'm getting into this deal. And it ends up being a situation where I may have been in a fantasy league where I just wanted to win and have fun and have a good time. But now, every move I make, I'm thinking about this $50 that I've now put up. Let's say you have the misfortune of winning the first time you put money up. You collect it. I mean, you can do the math on that. 10 cats in there, $50 with some math on that.
$500.
You saying, oh, shit, I just thought that, it was $50. So now you thinking you the man. Something like fantasy football is a little bit unpredictable. Injuries, trades, cats just... Shout out Jordan Howard last year. You did nothing, absolutely nothing. You cost me a lot, but it's more of a random deal. So now you thinking you cute because you got the little 500 from last year. Hey y'all, let's raise the stakes. 150 buy-in. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, I mean, because your boy's champ, and let's do this. And then you know what? You got to make an explanation as to why we can't get the baby Similac diapers. You trying to make them at home with a newspaper and shit because you don't got that $150. Or forget the family situation. When it's, I don't know, week 14 of the season and you pretty much know you're out of the playoffs and you one of the last guys that said that you haven't paid up. You knew when you got in the league that it was going to be $150. My question is this. How do we get, I guess it's an impossible question. How do we get those individuals to make better decisions? Especially as a seasoned fantasy football player, you know the marks. So you know, if there's gonna be money up, okay, cool. If there's gonna be money up, I know I got a good chance to win. Some leagues are winner take all. Some leagues have first, second, third place, right? And then you got a cat that come in and he's like, hey guys, I would like to play fantasy with you. And he's talking about drafting Ed McCaffrey, Chris McCaffrey's dad from the different round. He want him on his team.
Matt Hasselbeck.
And yeah, so you go, okay, we definitely taking this cat's money. He has no business being in there. Where does the line get drawn? How do you go about saying, hey, look, listen, man, hey,
you've had enough.
This is not for you. Or this is 4 years in a row. You're single, you live in your car, your kids hate you. When's enough?
Obviously it's up to that person, but what I would say, they will never learn unless there's some kind of repercussion, right? And financially,
Getting stuck up by my boss.
maybe their legs broken. I don't know. I don't make these things up. But
Shout out
there-
Kathy Bates.
in a lot of these cases,
You get hobbled up.
I like that with the sledgehammer.
Yeah, you be folded like laundry.
Oh, man, with the drop. But look, in most cases, most of these guys, they learn the tough way because, gamblers, all they have is excuses. But what you can't do is you can't explain why your leg is looking like that and, why your arm is touching the back of your head.
Like a backward L.
That's hard to explain, right? You're coming home, your old lady's not going to hear that. You come home and you can lie about what happened to the last 50. For sure. You can, hey, honey, this guy they need to learn. So there has to be repercussions in place. But the reason I'm coming up with this now and saying these things is because you can sort of, like you said, you can see it headed that way, right? And a lot of people, not just my life, but I see it in other people's life too. I'm looking over the shoulder. Shout out to our Mind Your Own Business video last week.
Shout out Mind Your Own. Don't get caught up.
I'm looking over the shoulder and I see a lot of situations and I'm thinking, well, that's none of my business. Like you losing a lot of money.
Okay, I would like to offer a solution then. I want to offer a solution.
Ooh.
You know what?
A lot of
I want to
people-
gamble. I'm not going to stop gambling. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, cool. That's fine. You going to keep gambling.
Is it though?
Hold on. Hear me out. So we talking about sports gambling. What if you say to an individual, hey, look, listen, you don't know shit about the NBA. You don't know anything about anything. Trades, transactions, backdoors, offenses, coaches. You don't know anything. But what I do know you know is a lot about boxing. You boxing head. How about this? Take your knowledge base, your skill set, so to speak, and you focus your betting on things that you have a high level of familiarity with. Is that sound advice, or is that just a bullshit way of saying, hey, just gamble a little bit and eventually just come back to the other stuff you don't know about and take much unnecessary risk?
The advice itself is sound. It's not very practical though, because the key to being a gambler, number one, is being stubborn.
That chance.
I mean, exactly. The chance is low, but yet you take it anyways. You're just stubborn. So that same principle to gambling applies to what you just said right now. They're not gonna hear it. And so, unfortunately, as far as your decision-making question went earlier, some of these things you gotta raise them early, honestly, to make better decisions in the first place. Pay your bills, maybe take care of all your obligations, and then if you have
gamble
some
that
left over,
$13 away. Just gamble that away.
gamble that away. You know what I mean? Save. You don't have to buy that Red Bull every morning. Save that to your gambling fund.
That's gonna hurt your heart anyway.
You know what I mean? But we're just looking out for you guys, man.
Don't do it. I mean, it sounds like my man AB is saying, hey, look, listen, enjoy responsibly.
Oh, I can't hear
saying?
that. No, do not enjoy responsibly.
Enjoy responsibly. Know your limits.
Get out is what I'm saying. Get out.
Jordan Peele.
Get out. Run. Don't get involved. That's all I'm saying right now. And I'm not saying this from experience, guys. Listen, I'm well off. All right.
Yeah, we doing a
I know you see the
podcast.
Japanese stuff. I don't even wear American anymore. Like, if I can pronounce it, I'm not gonna wear it. I'm well off. I'm not worried about that. I'm
expensive
looking.
beard oils.
I'm
you laughing at?
I'm looking out for you, broke boys. Okay, I'm trying to help you guys.
These are beats by E&E.
These are beats. Don't even look at the logo. Get out of here.
Don't even worry about that.
But so we're looking out for you guys, man. As usual, like, subscribe. This is E&E. If you have any questions, please let us know. And if you have an issue, 1-800-HELP-ME. That's the gambling hotline.
I don't think that's enough.
All right.
Is that enough letters and numbers and shit?
What do you mean? 1-800-HELP.
Subscribe, bell icon for notification. You guys make sure you drop
Use
your comments
promo code Zach when you call them.
in the comments section. We need your help. We
Promo
need your
code AB.
interaction.
I'm sorry.
Shout out Nesian Built. Put that up at the end. They are an affiliate. Shout out them. We out.
Thank you for your service.